You are a 30-year-old fighting a battle of an 8-year-old in your marriage. Your father now that left you is living in your husband and he does not even know it. I'm struggling to receive. I'm fine with giving. I'm fine. I give. But if you were to give me something, then I have a problem because I feel like I'm not worth to be given anything, to receive anything. And she came the second time. God says he loves you. Oh, I was over the moon, excited as I continued to pray. And the lady came the third time and she said to me, God says you need to forgive. She didn't tell me, she didn't say who must I forgive. But immediately in my spirit, I knew that I needed to forgive my parents. So in the womb, I picked up the feelings of rejection. I picked up the feelings of worthlessness, of not being loved.
Welcome to the Daddy Issues Platform Podcast, a space for real conversation, transformational healing. I am your host, Simpiwe Kanike, and here we talk about anything pertaining fatherhood, whether they are present, they are absent, they are restored or redeemed. We do not judge. A quick disclaimer is that we are not psychologists. We just offer our perspectives based on lived experiences on our spiritual journey, and we invite you to journey with us. And we should straight to our guest that we have today. We are honored to have Ms Ondiswa Nkosi. Welcome to Daddy Issues Podcast.
Thank you so much.
We do not introduce people, our culture here, so we just want you to straight introduce yourself and how would you like people to know you as?
Thank you so much. My name is Ondiswa Nkosi. I'm 42 years old. I'm married to Mr. Nkosi. We have 3 children. I'm a born-again Christian and I'm a published author. And I happen to have assisted you to publish your first book. So I assist authors I coach authors to write and publish their first books.
Okay, that's brilliant. By the way, that is this book that she helped me publish, In Pursuit of My Father, a personal account and the impact of fatherlessness. For Black youth in South Africa. Okay, that's where this conversation started that we're having today. Yes. From this book, like so many other things, including Real Men of Direction, was part of this book. Because from this book, I offer my, lived experience growing up without a father. How does that affect you as a boy child? As a married man, as a father yourself, and I always trace those things and look at the patterns and try to see. And this is the first book in South Africa that really opens up the conversation about fatherlessness, because amongst Black people especially, we do not want to talk about that topic. So this podcast was born out of that, trying to create spaces for real conversations, which now brings me to, the first conversation with you.
Yes.
I would love to know how you define father absence and how or in what way does that show up in a girl child's life.
Okay, just to add again on your book, the reason that I was able to assist you to publish this book was that I could relate. I grew up without a father, and yes, in South Africa, it's not a very open conversation, especially from amen. So that's one of the reasons I was like, okay, I'm in, let's do this. I can define fatherlessness or an absent father in this way, that a man who has a child but decides intentionally to abandon that child, whether he is married, abandon his children in marriage, or he is not married and has a child before marriage, decides to abandon that child, or even if they are married but they have children outside and they decide to intentionally abandon those children because they feel that they are not part of their plan, they are somehow working against their current life, so it makes it easy for them to just forget about those children. So those are absent fathers that most of children have, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there's a lot that we're talking about, and we said dead issues because I just want to look holistically on all matters that affect daddies. And I remember back in the days when we were doing a tour around the country, went to Western Cape, Worcester to be exact, and then after talking about my experience, what I missed from my father, what my father missed from being absent in my life, then someone lifted up a hand. All these things that you are talking about are the very same things that I've missed, and yet I left my father at home even now, which made me to think that, okay, they are present but absent fathers. Right?
Yes.
But I want now to zoom in into your own experience. From your experience or your observation, what are some early signs that a girl child is affected by the absence of the father?
Okay. I don't know where to start. Maybe let me start from the beginning. As I said that I grew up without a father. My mom got me in her 20s, so she was 18, and my father happened to be married at that time. And they were from different provinces. My father was in KZN and my mom was from Eastern Cape. From my experience, I think when I was around age 8, that is when I realized that I don't have a father. Because remember, when we were growing up, conversations were not those conversations were not spoken about. So there's no one in my family who bothered to tell me that, hey, you don't have a father, by the way, your father is whoever, your father lives where or something. So it's not something that we grow up knowing. Where I was growing up, there was no father, there was no man in the house. So I just grew up and I thought, okay, this is how things are. But now the problem is when I get at school and then the girls are speaking about their fathers, then I realize I have nothing to say. It means I don't have a father. So right from there, the very early signs is that you feel out of place. In conversations like that among children. You know how children brag. My father did this, my father bought that, and you're like, where's my father? You start now having those questions, but you don't have them out aloud. It's not like you'll walk in at home and be like, where's my father? No, it's just an internal battle that you cannot even explain. So the very first feelings for a little girl is feeling out of place. And then there is these abandonment feelings within you. You feel that you lack something, there is a void within you. But again, you cannot explain it. You cannot walk over to your mom and say, Mom, I feel empty, I feel like I lack something, because you can't make it out at that age.
Okay, I want to ask, when I grew up without my father, also I didn't know that I didn't have a father, and only when we were playing with other kids, and then we beat each other as boys, and then they run, they tell their fathers come and they beat us. We run home, and at home we are told to go and fight or stay at home. So you always wonder, like, where is this father? Like, where is my father? Who will go out and do what those fathers did? But really, those questions where we didn't have courage or maybe know how to begin to ask them until I went to school. They will say, do some drawings of your family tree. And others, okay, I wrote everyone that I know from home. I've got this, my granny. And then, like, for me, that was my picture. But when you see others, there's two branches. There's a father side, there's a mother side. Then you realize, okay, you don't have a father. But to translate that experience when you come back home, it's not possible.
Yes.
It's something distant. Like you switch, you go to your normal environment, you leave, you don't. But today's kids, I can assure you that they can't have that.
Yeah.
They'll come home and they will start asking questions. So as you grew up, you won't tell me that you didn't even have a temptation to talk about this with your parents at home.
Not as a little girl. The questions came when I was now in high school.
Okay.
And they came out of rebellion that you have your mom here, and obviously you don't want to listen to what she says, and you want to start a fight, and you're like, where's my father? So it's not something that when you are a little girl you can translate. But now as a teen, it's where it comes in, and coupled with all the issues and difficulties that you are going through and you are experiencing.
So would you say that teenagers, a girl child at their teen stages, that's where the real impact of a father absence start to show?
Yes, because remember that void that you have as a little girl that you cannot explain, it grows up with you. You can interpret it in many different ways. It happens in many different ways. And I know what I'm gonna say, it can be an issue, but you can either run away from men when you are a teenager, because when you are dealing with the fatherlessness wound. So it's either you run away from men or you run to men, because you are looking for a father in that man. So a man is in a relationship with you, but of course you don't know that I'm actually looking for a father in this relationship. You are thinking you are looking for love, because you have this yearning to be loved, to belong somewhere. And if this young love is offering that, then you fall for it. Or as a girl, you can either turn to homosexuality. That's one of the things that a girl who grows up without a father can experience. So it's either homosexuality, to men, or away from men. It depends just how one interprets it.
And from your experience, which side, which direction did you run to?
I became a teen mom. So it explains which direction I took. Yes.
You ran to men.
To men.
Just for viewers to know. Okay, you ran to men, and then when your mother was talking to you about this, you asked, where is my father, and all those kinds of questions. Like, how did that come up?
So as you now realize, okay, I don't have a father, but you do now want to know, you're thinking you want to go and find him. Then you are asking question, where's my father, who is he? And then my mother told me everything about my father. She told me where he's from, he told me his name, and I did try to look for him, but it didn't work at that time. I found him later on.
Who was not working?
I mean, it didn't work.
Or
Trying
it
to
did-
look,
trying to look for your father
as
didn't
a
work.
teen, yes.
How?
The resources, because you don't know where to start. Where are you gonna go? Who are you gonna call? Right? It's not like you're gonna take a bus to that other province, right? So it's just resources.
So take me to that day where your mother finally opens up. What does she say?
My mom told me that my dad was married at the time that they met, and that's why and that's how she had to go back home, because she was in Durban, and then she had to go back to Eastern Cape with me as a teen mom and without my father, and then that's how I got to grow up without him. And she told me where she's from, the name of my father, and where about I would go if I were to find him.
Did she maybe attempt to help you look for your father, or she said, you can go find him, I'm out?
My mom was married, so she got married when I was around 5 years old, and that's when I was raised by her sister. So there is no way that she could have helped me at that point, so I was on my own to find my father.
Okay, that one is a bit emotional because I think we can really relate our stories, because, okay, I was born, I was alive, I was there growing up from my mother's side. My mother already was married, and I had some little sisters as corner. But that I hope like parents can stop, doing this, because it really affects us. I know sometimes they think they are doing it to protect us, but it doesn't work. So they pretend as if this one is my father, this new one is my father. That one is my stepfather. He's still a father, but not my biological.
Yes.
And then I deserve to be told that this is not your biological, so that I know how to navigate my feelings around that. So she gets married again and she moves, and there is no explanation. At least they told you. But for me, there's no explanation about my father. I only hear when I did something wrong, and then, your father this and that and that. Then it leaves you with more questions, more than the questions that you already have, And then I visit him someday, my mother and my stepdad and my sisters, half sisters. And then this man takes me to what other people would say that it was an act of love, He was driving a car, he had a car, then move from Lenasia towards Soweto, at night. He's trying to show me places. But I hear that he's interrogating me. I was too clever to know that. He's interrogating me. He knows most. I'm not his. And then this pretends that I must feel like he is my father. You can see through this interrogation that this man, I'm not his, and he has not accepted me. And he's trying to also find out some information about my mother, and it made me not to be comfortable. So some of the things, what I'm trying to say is that some of the things that our parents do to think that they are protecting us,
Yeah.
they are really causing a huge damage about that. Because if your mother, like they knew she
The
had
truth,
you,
yes.
she didn't hide that she had you as a child. The best they could have done is to help you find your father. They are old, they've got resources,
Yes.
and they have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pass on that for the benefit of parents who are watching, for the sake of their kids.
Yeah.
That will set us free. Because now you attempt to find your father, then you fall short. Then how do you move from that going forward?
You are devastated, yeah.
So as a teen, you try to look for your father. You don't find him.
Yes.
Then how do you move from there?
So as a teen, yes, I did try to find my father, and obviously I fell short because I didn't have any resources. The most painful thing about growing up without a father is that the pain is internal. You've battled with feelings of abandonment issues, you battle with feelings of rejection, you battle with feelings of unworthiness. So you feel worthless. You feel that if your father left you, obviously your father didn't love you. So who can love you and who must love you? You feel that nobody will love you or will really love you. Then what you do is you try to compensate for the fact that you feel that you think that you are not loved. You go about trying to buy love in your actions. So if you have friends as a teen, you will be the one who will be over friendly, over helping in your circles of friendships. So that's the sad part about this father wound. And the sad part in that feelings is like you cannot define it. So you don't know that I'm feeling this rejected because I don't have a father, and then I can deal with this. You can't put two and two together, but your life is drifting in a very down spiral, negative emotional journey, and you feel like nobody can help you.
Okay, and then you grow up. Where does marriage come in?
So yeah, you grow up, you still have those strong feelings of worthlessness. And guess what? They go with you in marriage. Now you are this wife that is overly sensitive, you are overreacting. Everything is about you. You always, in your heart of hearts, although it's not something that you explain, but within you, you feel strong feelings that this husband is going to leave me because my father left me. So it's something that it plays at the back of your mind. It's not something that when it comes, you can say, no, I know you are from my past. You don't. But you believe this is how things are. This is who you are. You are worthless. You were left by your father and nobody really, really loves you. So as a result, you doubt your husband's love. At least that is how I was before God healed me, because he did heal me. But yeah, in those years or in those times, you strongly battle to believe that your husband loves you. And you pick up fights that are not even supposed to be there. But you are fighting, you are a 30-year-old fighting a battle of an 8-year-old in your marriage. Your father now that left you is living in your husband, and he does not even know it. So he cannot deny when you start your fights and be like, hold on, you see now this thing has started. It's from your father wound. Remember, this is not a fight. No, the fight will continue and it will ruin things if it ruins things. So this is the sad part about the father wound.
So you go through your married life looking, or your guard's up there.
Your guard is up.
Because you're looking for a day that he's gonna leave.
Yes.
Anyway.
And now you're always ready. That's why you are ready in your words, you are ready in your actions and in your emotions. You are hyped up because you are fighting the battle of an 8-year-old, and you are fighting it here. And you don't even know it.
Now, what does it take for marriage to survive that?
Grace and patience, maybe, to the other party. Because if they are not patient, then the marriage is going to end in 2 days. Yeah. So the grace of God, the patience of the other party.
Did you guys go for premarital counseling?
Yes, but the fatherlessness didn't come up.
Didn't come up.
Yes. Remember, it's it's something that is in the background of your emotions or of yourself. It's something that you don't actively, if I can have a new friend and you'll be like, by the way, I'm battling with fatherlessness. No, it's just in the background. It's like it's who you are. It's engraved within you, and you can't even point it out until God comes in the picture.
No, I can relate to that one. Like it becomes your personality, your character, like as you grow up, like because your character is made up of repeated habits. And then you end up saying, this is who I am. And on this part, like you overcompensate by it being too friendly. Hey, asanda mbona umuntu olunge njengawe. Lungile. Because like as I was growing up, like it was my wish that everyone must see me as if I'm a good person.
You are worth.
Because I was compensating for that thing that my father left because he thought I was not good. And I was gonna mount up to nothing. So I wanted to prove him wrong.
You are, God help us.
So okay. Then you proceed in marriage, you get your kids. How do you react? How is your relationship with your kids?
I can say it also, you parent from fear as well, because you grew up not in a secure environment. So you don't know what safe love looks like or a safe family looks like. And to your surprise, if you are a mom and you have a girl child, you are married, and you see your husband loving his daughter, and you are looking and you're like, I never got that. And unfortunately, you can be jealous of your little girl because of what you never had. And now tell me how that is going to affect you, although you're not going to express it and you're not going to act on it. But in the background, it will do some damage. So you grow up like that. And to add in this part of our compensating, I remember now when I have kids, remember when you have kids and then you have friends, you can take your kids to your friend's house, they can bring their kids. So because I don't believe that I'm struggling to receive. I'm fine with giving. I'm fine. I give. But if you were to give me something, then I have a problem because I feel like I'm not worth to be given anything, to receive anything. So I can't receive love. I can't receive any, even if it's from friendship or something like that. So I remember as a young mom, I'll be leaving my children at a friend's house because I have these strong feelings that I must not be uhlupho. I must not be a trouble to anyone. Nobody must do anything for me. I'm telling you, I'll be taking my kids with breakfast, with lunch, with supper, with snacks, with yogurt, even with water if I had to, because that's how I am. But now, when a friend is bringing to me, they won't do this nonsense that I'm doing. Because it's not supposed to be like that, right? You can bring snacks for kids, but you don't have to bring even from breakfast if you are in a healthy friendship relationship, which is supposed to be like that. But because I don't know what a healthy, friendly, any relationship, I don't know a healthy relationship, what it looks like. All I know is that I have to do to be accepted. I have to give to be accepted. I have to be, even with God, it affects your relationship with God. You become a born-again Christian. But I struggled to understand the notion and the fact that God loves me for nothing. Like, I don't need to do anything for God to completely love me. I struggled with that. Although I'm born again, I pray, I'm growing spiritually, but to that close, trusty, and belonging relationship with God, I struggled with that.
Would you say that affected you in some way in how you carried yourself? Did you find yourself acting?
For
God must expect like this. You can't just
yeah,
love
so
me for nothing.
I feel that if God is to help me, then I need to do something. It's either I pray more, I fast, I give. I don't believe that God can just bless me without doing anything, right? Even in the house of God, I am working not because I love God as a child of God, but there is that thing that I need to perform. I need to perform for this love of God. Yeah.
And also in your marriage, were you one of those parents, I will do everything for my child. I won't depend on this man. We can love each other, we can continue, but I will make sure that my kids are provided for.
Yeah, sort of. I can say that. So because you are, I remember I said you are waiting for this person to leave. So as you are geared emotionally, as you are geared in anyhow, so that you are set.
So that the day he leaves, you don't ask for
And it's
anything
insane.
from anyone.
Yeah.
Now, where does healing begin?
Yeah, God healed me. I can boldly say that. God healed me in 2022, 30 September. It was a Friday night. But before I go to when God healed me, I did eventually find my father. It was in 2017. I searched on Facebook and that night, what I did to find the lady that helped me, I used to search for my father's name on Facebook. Obviously, I was not going to find him on Facebook because he is old. But that night, what I did is I searched on Facebook using location. So I was looking for someone who has checked in my father's place because I knew the place. Yeah. So I was looking for someone who has checked in, and I found someone who has checked in, and she had the same surname as my father. Then I inboxed the person. It turned out it was my cousin. So that is how I found my father in 2017. I first saw him on Christmas Day on 2017, which is why I wrote this book, A Dad for Christmas. So he became my Christmas gift for 2017.
Okay.
Yes.
I think you are a male version of myself. Because I was also looking for my father. And then as I grew up, as they were scolding me and doing that, I would look for hints. They will say the name, and then some other time they will say the surname. So I kept that surname from a little age until I was old. So when I was doing standard 6, I don't know what grade is that now, but standard 6, then this other boy comes to this school with the same surname.
Okay.
Did I not make that boy my friend? I did. He was naughty, but whatever he did, I would, let it slide. So
You know what you're looking for.
So that I can be close to him. And only to realize later, I think 2 years later, that's how long I waited for that moment. As boys, we never talk about families and stuff. Then it was June. We were closing schools for holidays. And then I asked him, where are you going for holidays? No, I'm going to my uncle in Mthatha. Okay, who is your uncle? Like, we don't ask those things. So I didn't ask so that he can raise some eyebrows, but Jay, no, my uncle is this and this and this. Then, okay, this is my cousin. Then I said, okay, greet your uncle for me. Jay, as if we're just playing. Then I went home, then he went. A few days after he went for holidays, he came back. He didn't even call, he came back in person from Tad. Hey, why didn't you tell me this? Did what? But I knew when he was coming that he knows something different. Why didn't you say that my uncle is your father?
Where did he get that?
Did where if many blonde? What no? My uncle asked me where am I going for school now. Then when I told him, he asked if I know Usimpiwe.
So your father knows your name?
My father knows me. That was great. He asked if I know Simpiwe. Then I said, Simpiwe, what kaniji? Then I said, that is my friend. And then he said, that is my child. So I couldn't stay there. I had to come and fetch you. Let's go.
That was amazing.
So, yeah, this searching of fathers.
Finally happening one night when you don't expect.
So you had a nice Christmas. Now you meet your father. So how did you go there to talk?
Yes.
With
so
him?
it turns out, remember, I grew up with these strong feelings of rejection, thinking that my father left me, my father hates me, my father doesn't want to see me. But it turned out, no, the old man, he loved me dearly. He loved me dearly. The whole family knew about me. When I called him on that morning, the first thing he asked me, he was like, Uloga December 28, he said my birthday. This is now, I'm 33 years old. My father, I'm speaking to my father for the very first time in my entire life. He remembers
where you were born.
He remembers my birthday. That spoke volumes. I cannot express myself right now of how happy I was. And he arranged that I go home. He was still married to the same mom. So I went home December 25, 2017. I went home with my husband and my children. And funny enough, just to go back, when I met my husband for the first time, okay, maybe not for the first time, but along the way, I had told him before we got married that one day you will have to help me to find my father. And now it was happening. He drove me home to Durban. And when I arrived at home, the yard was full. It was like kunomcimbi. And the umcimbi was me. So the whole village, Emakaya, was there to see me. Apparently, my father has never stopped talking about me. He has told everyone that he has a daughter. He does not know where his daughter is. One day he will find his daughter. Even my siblings, they knew that there is a child who's not here. Everyone. So that was the most amazing thing about finding my father. It proved those feelings wrong that I grew up with. However, because the feelings were deep within me, they were embedded, they did not easily just disappear, right? So now going to how God healed me after that. God healed me, as I said, in 2022. We were in this prayer meeting, and I'm glad I'm speaking to a pastor because it's kind of very spiritually the way God healed me. So we were in this prayer meeting and we are praying. It's a Friday night, 30 September 2022. And the prophetess or the leader who was there, she came to me. The church is full. Ladies, it's a prayer evening. She came to me and she said, God says he loves me. God says he loves me. And remember I said I battle to believe that God loves you. So that's what God will always do along the way, along the years. Whenever that he wants to speak to me, he will first tell me that he loves me. because he knows the problem that we have. So that night the lady came. God says he loves me. Okay, I get excited. I continue praying. I'm praying. And she came the second time. God says he loves you. Oh, I was over the moon, excited as I continue to pray. And the lady came the third time. And she said to me, God says you need to forgive. She didn't tell me, she didn't say who must I forgive. But immediately in my spirit, I knew that I needed to forgive my parents. However, the amazing thing is that I'm not angry at my parents at this point. Even when I found my father for the first time, I was not like, I didn't fight him. I was not angry. Where were you? It was good when we met for the first time. And with my mother, remember my mother told me from teenagehood who my father is, right? So I was not in bad terms with my parents. But here is God coming to me and saying, forgive. Right? And immediately in my spirit, I knew that he is talking about my parents. And then spiritually, it was like, at that moment, I'm now lying on the floor. It was like I was carried to the womb. So it was like I went back to my mother's womb, and then I could feel the rejection as I was in her womb. As I said that my father was married when they got pregnant. So the news about me were particularly not pleasant for both of them. So they must have had those, they must have been afraid, they must have been regretted getting pregnant. So in the womb, I picked up the feelings of rejection. I picked up the feelings of worthlessness, of not being loved. I picked them up there. I picked them up there. And God that night had to show me where it started and how it started. Remember, we both said it becomes you. It's like it's you, it's who you are. So God showed me it's who you are because you got it from the womb and you were born with it. So now that's why I grew up with strong feelings of worthlessness and rejection. It's from the womb. So as I'm in the womb and God is showing me these rejections, and he is asking me that I should forgive my parents for this, right? It was very painful. Even in the spirit at that time, I was screaming on the floor because I could literally feel the pain that that child in their womb felt at that moment. And what I had to do is that I had to ask God that, God, help me to forgive my parents. And as I said that, then a huge, a wave of peace came over me. And I literally felt the release of forgiveness. Something huge being removed from me spiritually. Because now I said, God, help me to forgive my parents. And I forgave them that night. So that was the beginning of the healing for me. And that was the beginning of the vision. And then after I had forgiven my parents from the womb, the vision moved. It was like now I'm an 8-year-old girl. I'm still, the old me is lying on the floor, and the me in the spirit, I see myself as an 8-year-old little girl. I'm in this dark corner and I'm shoved, like it's a room, but it's black, it's pitch black. I can see a little light from the door, but as a little girl, I'm shoved at the corner of this room. And spiritually, God tells me that now I need to come out of this room. So this is now, I could understand, this is how I had carried myself all along. I'm living in this dark corner. That's why I have worthlessness. That's why I have rejection. I'm a grown-up, I don't know, am I making sense? I'm a grown-up woman with feelings of rejection because spiritually or something like that, I am an 8-year-old who is shoved in a corner of darkness. And now God, on this day of deliverance, he tells me that I need to come out of that darkness. I no longer have to stay there anymore. He said to me, he is here now. Nobody will hurt me anymore. I need to come out. But what I needed to do is, I myself needed to tell the little girl to come out. So God did not tell the little girl for me. He told me that I must address myself, that I am coming out of this darkness, of this rejection, of this worthlessness. It was a very sad part in the spirit, because I could feel the pain of the girl. She didn't believe that she can come out now. She didn't believe that it's safe. I needed to convince her that it's safe now. You can come out. You are free now. You don't have to move in this rejection anymore. And as I did that in the spirit, and finally the girl came out, then I was calm in the physically. The deliverance was done. I stood up from the floor. So that night is the night that God healed me from the wound of fatherlessness. And since then, I no longer battle with feelings of rejection and worthlessness. It's like I found my identity and I know my worth in God. Yes.
No, it's a very understandable encounter that we had.
Yeah.
Because as you were growing, people, they see a mature woman
Yes.
who is married, who have kids. They think that everything is in
fine.
order,
Yes.
is working perfectly well. Not knowing that inside,
Yes.
you're still battling the experience of an
Yes.
8-year-old.
An 8-year-old.
And
You
that's
are a
where the
40-year-old.
devil was trying to keep you there.
Yes. You are a 40-year-old girl, but your emotional balance, or whatever it's called, it's that of an 8-year-old. Because that's where damage happened, and until God can go and fix it, it grows up with you and in the background. So it's not something that you can actively help yourself with.
No, I think I like that part, because as I was saying here, that we break cycles through this conversation. Because for some, if we don't break these cycles, unknowingly we pass them to our own children, thinking that we're doing the best that we can for them, and yet we pass what was not broken in our own lives. So by these conversations, these are the cycles that we are breaking. Because, for example, when this book came out, you know the story. I had an interview at Mhlobwenene. The whole day, my phone, I was on my phone. People calling, everyone got a book. Now when I do a follow-up, for example, how far are you with my book? What did you learn? Some people, they have never touched it. They are still afraid
Of what?
of what this
will
book
discover.
will make them do.
Yeah.
Because there's areas of their lives that they don't want to touch.
Yes.
Say no, they don't want to go there. They have moved on with their lives.
Yeah.
Of which, in many times, that's a false sense.
Yeah.
Of trying to calm yourself, trying to think that you've got this. But to break some cycles in your life, there are things that you have to confront head on.
Yes.
So I wish really that they are, like, someone is listening, they are watching, and they will know, even because we not only that we don't want conversations, even when God is speaking to us, trying to get us out of that dark room, we resist that. We don't want to come out of that.
Yeah. It was, I remember, as you said, the little girl was resisting me. I had to convince her that now it's okay. She didn't believe that it's okay now. She didn't believe that it's safe now. She didn't believe that God is there to help her. So it had to take convincing for her to actually listen and come out now.
How is your relationship now with your parents?
Unfortunately, my father passed on in 2020. That was 3 years after after I met him. And I thanked God for that, because it could have been worse if I arrived at home and they show me where my father is laying. So yeah, my father passed on in 2020. And as I say that, I got healed in 30 September 2022. On December 2022, my mother passed on. So again, I thanked God that you had to make sure that I spiritually fix my relationship with my mother before she passes on. So yes, my parents are late. But I have a father now. You know what I discovered is that I always had a father. Although I didn't know my biological father, God has always been there. And if there is anything that I wish to say to any child who is growing up without a father right now, or to a mom who has a child and the father has left them, is that we must teach our children that God is the father. God is always there, and he is our father in one way or the other. So today, I again don't have a biological father, but I have my father, who is God.
And you are good.
And I'm good.
You are fine. Perfectly safe.
Yes. So if I knew this 20 years ago, I would not have gone through all this trauma, because now I would have known that I have a father. But now I didn't know that I have a father. So it's very important that we teach and we groom our children towards God.
Okay. As we are moving towards closure, for someone who is out there, many people literally, they don't want to touch my book. They don't. What would you say to that person? What are they missing out from receiving this total healing from God?
Yeah. As I said that when God healed me, I was 39 years old. But he was healing an 8-year-old within me. So this tells you that you can be 50 years old, but if there is something within you that is not healed about your childhood, then you are missing out on being a complete you. Because living this half life of being okay, you are not okay, you don't want to deal with your internal issues, you miss out. And as I already said that, it affected my marriage. And thank God I am still married. I'm still married. It's been 18 years now. But it affects your relationships. Kanti, if you can face this, it will be over and you will be able to move on with your life. And unfortunately, nobody's going to do the healing for you. Remember, I said, God did not speak to the 8-year-old. He told me to speak to the 8-year-old. So God is not going to do it for you. You have to stand up for your healing. But all God is going to do is to point you where it started. So he took me back to the womb, and then he said I should forgive. I had to say, God help me to forgive my parents. God did not automatically help me to forgive my parents. So you take the first step, and you must be the one who is responsible for your own healing.
So what would you say to someone who feels like they are too far gone or stuck in the old patterns and there's no way out? Someone will say, no, I've been in church, I pray, I know God hears me, But as far as my parents or my father is concerned, I don't want anything to do with that.
You know, when God healed me on that 30 September 2022, I was exactly there. You know, remember my dad passed on in 2020. And I was, for 3 years, I was in this zone of spiritual darkness, spiritual hunger, spiritual not knowing what's happening. So I even changed churches. So in January 2022, I went to the church that I was healed on is the new church that I started to go to, because I knew that something was wrong. I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to fix it. And I knew that there's nothing wrong with my current church. It is speaking the word of God. Everything is fine spiritually, but something is wrong in me, and I don't know how to reach on it. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I need a new environment. So I started this new church. From January to September, I'm still in that zone of not knowing what is happening, where am I going? And I'm not even attributing to the fatherhood. I'm just thinking, life is just, right? And then God decided that actually, me, my child, I know what is wrong. And this night is the night that I will have an appointment with you. So what I want to say is that you might think you are far gone. You might think there's no way out. But one thing I love about God is that he can zoom in to the moment that this whole trouble started. And he can fix it from the beginning. He had to zoom into the womb. He took me to the womb, and he healed me from there. So it doesn't matter where you are. This is God we are talking about. I was 39 years old, and he healed me that night. So this is God we are talking about. He knows us more than we know. He knows the past, the future, the present. There's nothing that is hidden from him. So there's nothing that is too hard for him. Surrender to him.
Lastly, having watched how your husband is fathering your kids, what would you like to say to fathers or to men about the role they play in shaping their kids' lives?
They may not understand it. They may not even believe that they are doing anything, but it's a huge role that they're playing. And I would encourage fathers to really be there for their children. Children need their fathers, although it's not something that they expressly say it out loud, but it's needed. Look at the havoc it did in my life, just because I grew up without a father. So imagine if I didn't grow up without a father, would my life have turned away? Would the pain that I had experienced for 39 years, would it have been necessary? So I would encourage fathers. Being a father to your child does not mean having millions, but it means time. It means listening to your child. It means seeing your child. It means playing with your child.
Thank you so much for joining us today to share your story. And I know many people will be helped. Many people will experience their healing. Some, they will be healed just by listening to you telling your story. God is working in their lives as they are listening. So we thank you for your time and for being vulnerable with us and trust us on this platform with your story. And to you at home, thank you for tuning in. If you feel blessed or touched by the story that was being shared here, like, comment, share your own experience, and tell others. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, as it is keeping on growing. And if you want to come and sit here like Ms Ondiswa and tell your own story, you can use the link that is on the comment section here to register your interest, and then we'll be in touch with you, and then you will be here and tell your story. And as you tell your story, you experience healing. You experience moving on from where you are, because some experience healing by talking, and this is a platform, it's a safe space. And remember, still, if you feel anxiety, depression, reach out for professional help, and we are also going to be sharing the details below here. Some of the services are free, some you will have to pay for, but reach out, do not die within. Help is available. Coming here to talk here, also this is help on its own. And for everyone who is sponsoring us, thank you so much. And I want to call on other people who want to sponsor. If you believe in family, building families, healing through conversation, creating platforms for conversation, and you want to sponsor us, please be in touch with us. When you sponsor us, you get a special mention. We display your logo and your services that you offer, which means access to market, like the ones that who have sponsored us. As you see what I'm wearing, Umtu Eku Krestu sponsored us, and you can get these t-shirts, high quality, 300 rands. We're sharing the details. Real Men of Direction. We also have China events and communications, and lastly we've got Vez photography. They are also sponsoring us. So thank you so much, and until next time, I'm your host Simpiwe Kaniti.